Okay, that's it, right?
Hello, everybody. Everyone, we are here to invite um, our sister Leah from UK. She will talk about empowering women. Go ahead, baby. Lynn is here to lead the
Well, this
meeting.
thing is acting very strange.
Okay.
Okay.
You are there. You are online, baby. Okay.
Okay, hi everyone.
I'm fixing it. Okay.
Get rid of the echo.
Go ahead.
Okay. Today we have Sister Leah, who is going to be talking to us about, I'm not even sure, but it's going to be about her story. The whole point of Saving Souls Women's Network is to empower women to get their stories out, and by releasing, you always feel better. So as soon as we let people in, we'll be able to listen to Sister Leah and welcome everybody. I just got a message from Najette. She's on her way.
Okay.
I'm sure. Yeah, I didn't hear from Sakina, but she said this morning that she's coming. And I know that Leah is coming, and Barbara, I'm pretty sure will be here, and an old friend of all of ours, Lorena, and I'm hoping for Terry. So let's get it together and let's see what we got here. Start letting. Oh God, why the echo? Okay, we're just waiting. Also, while we're waiting, a little reminder that on Friday, both Dethroning the President, the book about Donald Trump, and The Spiritual Woman are due. So if you're sending me anything, please make sure that you send it by Friday. So that's it.
I'm waiting for people to come.
Okay. So you will tell me when they come, and then I'll talk. Right now, my camera is staying the way it is. Otherwise, those colors come on. I told you what happened.
Okay.
I can't play with this.
Hi, Leah. Come on.
Happy New Year.
Come on, Leah. She's not joining yet, yeah?
What do you
I'm
think?
sending her a reminder.
I sent her a reminder.
Okay, good. She will be here.
I'm sure she will.
Yeah. I'm so excited to have our sister Leah again. She's the best speaker. She is so open and funny with everyone. She
Yeah,
loves
she's a riot.
everyone.
She's very funny.
And we are so proud to have her among our landscape and saving souls women work
Okay.
projects. Yes.
Woohoo!
Good. So no one is joining now, just Sophie and Lena.
Okay, that's the way it's supposed to be.
But we are here to wait for everyone. And let's rock and roll.
Hey, hi Sophie, my love.
Hi, how are you? We are already there. You can come.
Yes, I'm trying. I can't. I need a more recent link sent to me on my email because my search engine does not work properly and does not bring me.
So, okay, stop talking and send it. Let's go.
Okay, I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now.
Can you send me another link?
Yes,
Just now?
yes. I'm doing it now. See you soon, okay? Once you have the link, come back to our Zoom meeting. We love you. Sophia and Lena. Bye.
Let me get Shirley too. It's another one.
Okay, baby, go ahead.
Wait a minute, there's nobody here. I'm not talking to myself.
You can introduce to others.
There's nothing to introduce.
Okay, I didn't say anything. Come on, ladies. We are here.
Let me call Shirley because I think that'll be better.
Barbara is there.
Yay, Barbara.
Hello, Barbara.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, sweetheart.
Yes, how are you, honey?
I'm
just
okay.
Just trying to call Shirley. You know, she gets a little confused.
Oh, okay. I got you. I understand
Not
that.
Okay, she does, she does, she doesn't, she doesn't. How you feeling, Barbara?
So, honey. So.
Okay, so it's always better than bad.
This
Yep.
is for everyone. Corona.
How's
Winter.
Tofi doing?
He's
I'm
good.
okay, I'm better.
He's doing better.
I'm better.
Good.
We don't have any results yet.
I'm better, sister. I'm trying
There
to.
he is. Hey, Toph.
Thank you. Hi, dear Barbara. We love you.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Good. I'm getting better.
Good. I'm praying
I'm
for
getting
you.
better.
Meeting starting now.
How is Aaron, Windy, and all the family?
And you have it in our Facebook.
Good. Everyone is good at the Mitchells?
I didn't hear what you said, Tofi.
Neither did
How
I.
is family? Wendy, all the kids, the grandsons.
Oh,
they're
everybody's
great?
good. I'm very
Thank
blessed.
God.
They're fine.
Okay,
Good.
I
Thank
Fine.
will stop my neck. We love you. Okay,
Okay.
Lynn, you will take
They're good.
the lead.
Okay. Okay, Barbara. This week we have the spiritual woman. Are you sending anything?
I am working on it. I should send
Okay,
something
great.
soon.
Wonderful.
You said the 15th. You said the 15th, right?
Right. Just a minute, just to like give you like a little message.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, I'm still tweaking it. So
Week away. I love to make you laugh. I spoke to Joanne. She said that on Thursday she's sending it. She couldn't be here today because this is the time that she has doctor's appointments and everything else, whatever it is. She's busy. So, but we're supposed to have. You know who's supposed to come? I don't know if she'll come.
What about Leah? What about Leah?
Leah's on her way. She just, she needs the link 14 times till she gets it right. I'm telling you, we're dealing with a bunch of characters here.
It's okay.
Works for us. So he just sent her the link again. So I expect her. Today is her day. She's the one who's doing the talking.
Oh, good.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting for the day when you tell me you're ready.
Oh, aren't you something? I don't know when. Maybe in the spring.
Whatever. I'll wait for you. Your story is worth hearing. So however long it takes, we're here waiting.
Cool.
Good. So I loved that party. I have to tell you, I was so impressed by that surprise party for Al. I loved it.
I know. Wasn't it great? He loved it too.
Yeah.
Oops,
Okay.
somebody's here.
Leah's here.
Good.
Wait, message from Lorena. Wait, let me take it.
Yeah. Hello. Hello, everyone. Ladies.
Hi.
Can you hear us?
Hi.
How you doing? It's Rosita here.
Hi, Leah.
Okay, good. I got your note that you couldn't get in, so now but now you can. You're there. And Lynn, you're a white empty space.
I'm coming. I'm writing to Lorena.
Okay. Let me just get my name correct here. It does.
Lynn, you don't
It
write.
wrong.
Rosita, hello.
I'm here.
Lorena. Oh, wonderful. We're so happy to see you, honey.
Hi, Alison.
Okay.
It's wonderful to see everybody.
Okay, we have the whole family is here, and there are more coming. But today is late. Today, Lynn can sit. What do I have to echo?
Go ahead.
Okay, today, Lynn, he says go ahead, but I'm hearing an echo. Today, Lynn can
Oh
sit
dear.
back. Today,
Hi, Leah.
talking.
Hi, Barbara. Hi.
So
Hi,
let's
Allison.
listen. Okay, Hi, Allison. Great to
Hi
see
there.
you. Okay, terrific. Okay.
Please, one second.
Yeah, okay.
Dear Lastia, and unmute your micro. I want to hear your voice.
Lorena.
Lorena, yes, go ahead. Unmute your micro. You know what?
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
great.
beautiful.
Go ahead.
So good to see you.
Yeah, so good to see you all.
Sophie, can I come there? I don't like this thing.
Okay, come in.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Hi.
Okay,
Hi.
come on, David. Come here.
Okay, I'm working with me. Come over here.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, that way I see all the beautiful faces.
Hi.
Beautiful lady.
Okay, I
Hi.
see all the beautiful faces in one place.
Yeah.
How do we pronounce your name? Hi,
Leah.
Leah.
Yes.
Okay, so today I wanted to give Lorena a slight idea of Saving Souls Women's Network because it's really, we're honored to have you. We know how busy you are, and we're hoping someday we'll be able to hear your story. But what we do is every week somebody shares, or we talk about relevant women's stories. And I've already shared my story. Barbara hasn't yet, but she will. Leah has started to share. And we have several people that are going to be sharing. Eventually, my daughter Suki from Morocco will share. I see she's here. Elizabeth Najed is here. Maybe she'll share. But most of today is very exciting to me because I have my friend Lorena is here. We haven't seen her. I know that anybody who's part of DC knows who Lorena is.
Lorena, she didn't stop praising you. She's so excited to have you among us.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Okay, thank you, Sophie.
Hi,
Okay,
hi,
Lorena, why don't you tell
Sakina.
us a little bit about
Hi,
yourself?
Najat.
Hi, Leah.
Hi,
Hi,
Leah.
everyone.
Actually, this feels very Mediterranean with everybody talking together. I went as Lorena on Daily Challenge. That's my legal name. And the reason I go by Lasita is because Amachi gave me the name and it means full of light.
Oh, I
That's
love
beautiful.
that.
So the more one,
Lasita.
yeah, so the more one is called by that name, the more one can embody the quality. So that's why.
That's beautiful.
Very beautiful.
And
Okay.
It fits you so well.
Please come in.
Fits you
I'm
so well.
sorry. I had to shut off my other thing because it was doing the double thing.
Okay, come on.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. So I just want to fill you in on some of the things that we have done. We write books together, and I'm very proud to say that we're on Sisterhood 37, which will be published on Friday, which is The Spiritual Woman. Do you hear me, Sukaina?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten anything from you in a long time. So The Spiritual Woman,
Okay.
everybody has to write, but you.
Hi,
What did you say,
Suki.
Missed you.
Yeah, that's Bob.
Okay, just for please, if you can, before starting, just ask everyone to say 2 words so I can be sure of the
Okay, I know what I'm
part.
gonna ask.
I wanna a voice and video be there.
Okay, here we go. Barbara, just say a few words about Saving Souls Women's Network so we can get Lorena to know what it's all about. Okay.
Say a few words about what? Our group?
Saving Souls Women's Network.
Oh, okay. It's awesome. And it's great because we have people all over the country, all over the world that try to get together and talk about things that are important to especially women, but especially to everyone. So that's what I love being here with Lynn and Tofi. So
thank you.
And we love having Barbara here. What I say is I feel that Saving Souls Women's Network, I love Lynn's Kids. That's a whole different entity. That's camps for children all over the world. But Saving Souls Women's Network is my nirvana. It is a way to channel, a way to release. And through people like Leah, I learned so much about giving and caring and sharing. And when Leah walked
absolutely,
everybody lights up. So Leah and I have been here from the beginning because she always drags me into everything. This time I dragged her in. And I have Allison, who is new to us. So I don't know if you could say anything. Hi, Allison. You want to say anything to us?
Oh, I had a terrible time here.
Oh, okay. Okay. We're not going to bother you.
That's fine. That's
but
fine.
it
You
has been
understand.
like,
That's fine.
50 years.
You're here.
We're glad to have you.
Glad you're here, Allison.
How is Brian? How is
What?
Brian?
Oh, fine. Yeah, I had to kick him off the
Wow.
computer.
Glad to have you. We're
No,
glad to have you. Okay.
He's out in the yard
Okay,
working.
great.
He's doing my thing
Wonderful.
right
Send
now.
him our love. Leah, tell us a little bit about Saving Souls
Okay.
Women's Network.
For me, it's been really quite a just quite an eye-opening experience. Getting to know Lynn and Tofi and Barbara and Sukina and Najat and all of these wonderful people, these wonderful women and men who are involved in trying to help empower women, to help us to deal women in all sorts of different conditions, because obviously to be a woman isn't one thing. It's there's so infinite variety of women in different positions, and some are in better positions than others, and some
Absolutely.
people have domestic violence, and some people have drug addiction, and some people have financial troubles, and some people, all sorts of things have some kind of illness, and many things can come up. And so books are written, or talks are given, or help is given, like a crisis line. Lynn and Vicky are starting a crisis line in New York to help
Lynn and Fran, not
in the
Vicky.
pandemic, to help people, women, not just women, but I think anybody really, to call and to say, I need some help, or I'm lonely, I'm struggling, or whatever, so a crisis line. So it's about really dealing with the difficulties really that can come up to women, and also it can come up to men. But it is true that as women, we do have certain strictures upon us that many of us have in any case. Not all women do, but many of us do, which make it slightly or quite a lot more difficult to make it in the world to survive. True. Because of sexual harassment or rape or various different things like this. So it depends upon the woman really and what her experience is, but there are categories of problems that many people experience, and so in that sense we can write books or pamphlets or have talks about subjects such as, say, we can talk and we can connect and we can show our care for people in all these different situations. Talking, women, men, anybody. Does that make sense?
Okay,
yes.
Thank you, Leah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to Sukina.
Suki!
Hi! Oh my God, I miss you.
I do.
Hi,
Well,
Suki.
That's so pretty.
Hi, Suki, the beautiful lady.
Hi, Suki.
Hi,
Suki.
hi, girls and Tofi. How are you? Hope you're doing great.
Hi, Suki. So good to see you.
Sukina.
Oh, me
Always
too.
good.
Oh my God, you lighten up my days and nights whenever
Hi,
I
Sakina.
You look wonderful.
Hi, Najat.
Talk about Saving Souls Women's Network.
Yeah, okay. So like if I wanna say one sentence, well, you know that I'm chatty and that I'm like talkative. I cannot say one word or sentence about it. Just like in this era, in this century, in this especially this year, we need someone to show support, especially to women, because we value emotional support and we value support in general. And this is the objective of our group. It's just like to show emotional support, to voice the thoughts of some women who did not have the chance to voice their thoughts. And this is like something we have to do. It's like a must for us. It's our duty, since we have the opportunity to voice our thoughts without any fear, without any, obligation or anything. So it is for us, the educated women, to show and pave the way for the thoughts of the, the less fortunate women. around the
Yes,
world.
beautiful,
Perfect.
beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to move to the person who I gave a wake-up call today to, Miss Shirley.
Oh, I didn't get your wake up call.
Donald Trump is
I wish I
gone.
had him.
He's gone. He's gone.
Listen to your machine and you'll hear my wake-up.
Oh, you mean my cell phone? I know. I never had my cell phone. I apologize for being late. I had quite a little night last night. I went to bed at a decent time, and in the middle of the night,
I know, I saw you.
I woke up. I was itching like crazy in my legs. Do you know that? I was dancing, and Frank sleeps like a rock. So I'm up, finally got out of bed, and I'm just standing by the bed, scratching and scratching and scratching and digging, going, oh my God, what's happening to me? And finally, I got out of the bedroom and came into the kitchen and took a Benadryl.
That helps.
Stopped the itching.
Yep.
And I missed the alarm when it went off.
Okay, that's fine.
That's why
Okay.
I'm late.
Shirley, channel you.
How's your
It's
itching?
okay,
Tell us
Shirley.
a little bit about Saving Souls Women's Network. One sentence.
One sentence. I'm still trying to wake up. That's why I have my coffee here.
Go ahead, you can do it. I have.
I'll say this. Women have really. I was very closed off to relationships with women. I don't know why. I was probably because I went to so many different schools. When I finally landed in university, I was not the new person, the only person, and I was able to join a sorority. And it was the first time I started really hanging out with women. I hung out with myself because when you go to 9 schools in 12 years, you kind of forget how to have friends. But being able to open up, like with Lynn, and then finding about Soul Sisters, I have to say today, outside of Frank, there's only all of my closest people that support me, Shirley, are all women. I don't do it and I did it by myself. You know, I was just hanging in there by myself. So Lynn just has expanded that. And believe me, if I didn't want to be here, I would have slept in.
I know, but I reminded you anyway.
You should have seen me jumping out of bed going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Okay, we're moving right on to Najette. Go ahead, Najette.
Is Najette here?
Hi everyone.
Hi,
Najette.
Hi. Najette.
Hope you are all good.
Good. Tell us what Saving Souls Women's Network means to you.
Well, my friend said it all here. For me, it is a wonderful group that gathers and that shows the care and the support for women through raising awareness and many good stuff, and through writing books, which is part of our work. And the last book is number 37.
I can't believe
Yes.
It's
it.
amazing.
I have to think of
Can't
something
imagine.
at the end for 38,
That
but we have
is
time.
amazing.
It really is. I'm really sorry. Now we let Lorraine. We're very excited, Shirley, because Lorena is here from DC. I don't know if you know Lorena.
No, I don't. Are you
Oh,
is
well.
Lorena at the end here?
Yes, she's in the middle, right next to Leah.
Lorena called Lasita.
I don't see Leah either.
Okay, well,
Now I
whatever.
see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, open your eyes, Shirley.
Oh, there you are.
Next to
Okay,
that.
good.
Okay. So we're very excited today. We have new people, and it's always good to start that way. Okay, so today we are turning the stage over to my dear soul sister, who lights up my life when she comes. Whenever I feel darkness, which doesn't happen lately, but it has in the past. She's been there for me. She lights my path. She lights Tawfiq's path, and she is just the most wonderful person.
Lynn, could I say one more thing?
You can say whatever you want, my love.
I just want to say that one thing about the Women's Network is that everybody gets a chance to be listened to.
I love it.
Be listened to.
That's what we're here for.
Everyone. I'll pass it on to Leah.
No, I love it, but that's what we're here for. We're
Thank you,
waiting one
Barbara.
day soon. Barbara's going to tell her story when the weather gets warmer. She promised me the spring, and she knows that I'm not going to let her leave her alone. She's going to hear from me again. Okay, so today we pass the stage to, and I love when I don't have to talk, to Leah, who is sharing another story, and we know she has plenty of them to share.
Great.
Okay, light up my life, Leah. Go ahead.
What a task. Ask. I don't know if I can do that, but I would say you light up my life, you too. So, it's an equal thing there. I mean, if there's light here, there's light there, and light everywhere. And so we're all shining here. But yes, I mean, the subject, we're talking about empowerment, and I thought of some words which I wanted just to go through real quickly. Just, it's the kind of thing where, yes, okay, I took the word empower and I kind of can connect each of these things. Now, I'll just go through it very quickly and then just make it personal, and you can add anything you want to at some point here, but just if I can just go through quickly. Okay, E for education. For some women, it's an easy thing to get because they are in a family that encourages it. They're in a whatever their community is, for some reason education is encouraged. I think women do need education. I'm not talking about having a PhD, talking about learning about things, knowing about life, knowing about how to read, knowing how to access information yourself, and knowing how to question and think. So it's not about the degrees, it's about the actual ability to think for yourself. So that's education. Okay, now I can tell you ways in which education was very much something I had to struggle for. Even though I come from America originally, and my father went to Yale and is a doctor, and you might think, oh, well, she comes from a family where, no, the money from education was saved for one eldest daughter who was treated with respect, too much respect. She's kind of a boss, and others, and the three other sisters we were on our own, basically. And I can tell you in which that happened, at least a few examples. But anyway, motivation for M. How does a woman stay motivated? How have I stayed motivated? The thing about motivation, which is just real quickly, is it's been shown that if you do something really well and nobody notices it and nobody says anything about it and nobody pays any attention to it, you will actually stop doing that thing, probably.
Yes.
So, girls who will be extremely good at mathematics, like my sister Nancy was, extremely good at mathematics, extremely talented. My dad and my mom's motto throughout our childhood was education is wasted on girls. Daddy would say that when he'd see Nancy's amazing mathematical ability.
The dark ages.
This is wasted on you because you're a girl. Okay, that's what I mean by motivation. How do you stay motivated if you get comments like that? How can girls do that? They need to have the right comments, the right right attention, not to be ignored when they show potential in something. Positivity, kind of along the same line. If you're surrounded by people who think, for example, in my family, my mom had a kind of medieval view of the menstruation. Menstruation is quite an issue, actually, because we were taught that it was actually showed how evil we were.
Oh my
One time my mother had my brother walk in on her when he was 3 years old, and she was changing her menstrual pad, And suddenly she screamed, and I came running, and I said, "What's the matter, Mom?" Because I was just like a 10-year-old, you know, I hadn't even started my period yet. And she said, "Oh my God, your brother just saw my menstrual pad. We must pray. We must pray. Let's make a prayer circle here." And so, she went and started speaking in tongues and crying and saying, "Dear Jesus, please take this memory of this away from my son. Otherwise, it will destroy him." She really thought that my brother seeing her pad was going to destroy him.
God.
That's awful.
Okay, now,
That's
what
so
kind
weird.
of message do you think that gives me, a girl, about
It's stigmatic,
menstruation?
definitely.
Actually, the thing is that I didn't pay much attention to people. So I was lucky. I wasn't paying attention to her. I just thought that's kind of goofy, really. So because I
you,
had
Leah.
that kind of mind, I just wasn't paying it. I didn't pay attention to people. It's part of my goodness and part of my badness, possibly. I heard her going on, and I thought, what is your problem, lady? Because I just didn't think, I really, that's what I thought. So I actually was kind of proud of the whole menstrual thing, and used to pretend I had it when I didn't, when I was a young girl, and I'd walk around pretending I had it. I thought it was really cool. So anyway, but we know lots of cultures where it's a dirty, evil thing, and it makes women dirty. We know this. So how to empower women have to feel good about their bodies. They have to feel good about their menstruation. They have to feel good
Absolutely.
about all of these what makes us women, these aspects that make us women, or can make us women, because of course there are women who don't have periods. There are women who don't have, there are all kinds of types of women. There are women who have, I know a woman who has 2 vaginas, and I know one who doesn't have any. So I mean, you can have many types of women, but certainly many women have the menstrual period.
Right, exactly.
And if it's considered to be dirty and evil and bad, that is not going to empower a woman. Okay,
No, but I think
it's
a
not
lot
going to
of
empower a girl
we're in
to grow into
2020
a
now,
woman.
2021.
But that still can happen. That still can happen. And I talked with someone who comes from Kuwait. She said nobody told her anything ever about the periods, and they still don't talk about periods.
Unbelievable.
And so a girl will just get the period and not know what's happening to her,
I never ever thought
and
of
it will
that.
all be in secret. So it's very strange. So anyway, I do think that's actually more important than people want to talk. People don't want to talk about that subject. We don't talk about it. That good grief, But maybe a commercial where it's sort of blue on, you see something blue on a pad, but nobody wants to talk about that subject because why? I don't know. I think it's actually quite an important one, because in my own life, I've seen that because of it. For example, my father was very friendly and very helpful, good to me up to the point that I got my period. Because when I got my period, I turned into a very, what was considered to be a very pretty young girl. And before that, I was considered to be a really strange mess of a thing. And seriously, I just wasn't into, because of my being Asperger's syndrome. I just wasn't into what it is to be a girl. So I was messy haired, and I just went to the library and I didn't care about this stuff. And all my sisters attacked me one day, and they said, "We're going to turn you into a girl." And they did my hair, and they put makeup on me, and they changed my clothes, and they did all these things and changed me into, and showed me that I had to learn to be a girl. And so I started going to the library, studying all the books on how you can be a girl, how to be a girl, what girls do. It was very strange. I had to kind of learn what it is to be a girl. So I started studying, and because my IQ is enough to do so, I was able to do that. Not everybody is, but I was. So I could copy other girls, and by copying them, I could pass for another girl, so I can pass for a girl. Anyway, or a woman. Also, women is the next one. So we have and now we have empower. Women role models, real women mentors. The importance of having a mentor, having a role model when you're growing up and when you are growing up is so important. And if you don't find one, you're not as lucky, is not as fortunate as someone who does find one. Having some woman who actually will take an interest in you and show you a way in which you can use your potential is just amazing. Seeing a woman in a position of empowerment, in whatever it might be, whether it's she's a hairstylist or a taxi cab driver or a professor, it doesn't matter. The point is she has confidence and she feels good about herself, and she can help you to learn how to feel confidence and good about yourself and to use your potential. And she can see it, you know, she can see, hey, you'd be a good driver, you've got a good memory, you know. Have you ever thought of being a taxi cab? You know? So having a mentor, having someone who can help you and see your potential, whether it's in writing or whether it's in gardening, God knows what, is important. The E, when we're getting to empower, is to enable. Now, enable in terms of alcoholism is not good, or a drug addiction. You know, you don't want to enable someone to be an alcoholic, okay? But you do need enablement to be a whole person, a whole woman that you are. You need to be given the find and look for and be fortunate enough to find. And I think when you're looking for the teacher, you find the teacher. You are enabled to develop that potential. You can grow. You can educate yourself. You can become educated. You can find a way. So even when people are trying to stop you, you can find little loopholes and little ways to sliver through, and you can do it. You know, you can be enabled to be yourself in all of your beauty and all of your power. And the R for empower is roar. Basically, what I mean by roar, back to that song. Women roar. Don't settle for other people's expectations. Don't settle for other people's expectations. It stops you from being wholly you in all of your talents and God-given gifts. Make a noise. Make a noise. Reach out. Let people hear you. Reach out. Don't let people silence you. Find a way to let that voice be heard, because you deserve to be heard. Each woman has a story to tell and something to offer. And so that's what I would say. I would say that in every which way, like, for example, when I won a scholarship to go to university, and my parents, in order to get it, I was 18, my parents had to sign a form which said how much money they make, and they refused to sign it because they didn't want anyone to know how much money they make. So I didn't get the scholarship. So I didn't have a means for paying for my education. So that's how I ended up being a waitress at a restaurant owned by organized crime. And that's how I ended up being in a situation where organized crime wanted me to be, because I was young at that time, and I was at that time vulnerable looking and pretty. They wanted more from me than I could give, and they mistreated me, and it was really quite horrific, actually. Let's say nightmare time. So that's how I ended up there, because I was trying to go to a university, which I thought was good, and I needed to make residency, so I needed to work and live there for a year, and then I could say I was a resident and all that. So that's why I was working as a wait. It was just by happenstance that I chose to work at that particular restaurant with those people who drove gold Cadillacs and had guns in their pockets.
Oh,
It was
God.
just
Yeah.
not the best place for a little kid like me who had a hard time growing up really and becoming
And you
quite
turned out
naive.
okay anyway.
Hey, it worked out.
Yeah.
Right.
It worked out because all that I look back on it and I think, dear God, wow.
That's right. Look what you endured and look how you turned out. I mean, it shows you women have strength that sometimes we don't know we have. We have strength where
That's
we
the
can
thing.
conquer.
Yeah. Yeah, all these things build up, the bullying, the this, the that, the
Of
being
course.
raped
You
at
learn to close your
13 and
ears and to do your own
you
thing.
just you find yourself with this with what's called a history, and there's this history. History is history. It's
Right,
water
exactly.
under the bridge, and I have dealt with it actually. And I have these traumas that are there. Sometimes I have flashbacks, but I have ways of dealing with that.
Good.
And I have faith and ways of coping with it because I believe goodness and love overcome evil.
That's it. That's all you need.
So I think that is it basically for me. I don't know what I would love to hear other people's experiences of education,
Okay.
of how they were treated with becoming a woman. Did their father drop them like a block, a rock like my dad did, and because suddenly he didn't want to have anything to do with me when I looked like a girl, when before he would help me with my rock collections and all of the things, because I was a very intellectual little girl, and he would take me to the hospital with him and let me cut through a kidney and
Oh,
take me to the laboratories and everything. He treated me like a boy. We go camping together, all this stuff. And then I got my period and bump, he didn't want anything
Everything
to do with me.
changes, right? Okay,
So
well,
I don't know.
I think you brought up some really very relevant points. And I will say, I'm going to ask everybody to say something about it, whether education, whatever they choose. I have just two things that I want to say first. As far as education goes, I think education gives us, I know it did with me, it gives us a confidence. It gives us the fact that we can go ahead because we are educated. We can hold our head high and try. Also, we have to give credit to the women from long ago, like Gloria Steinem, and other women who led the way, like Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Those are the two I always use. Education opened doors for me. I had a very supportive family. You'll never hear me say anything. Well, I could say negative about things that happened later on in life, but that's not what this is about. Education helped to make me feel that I could conquer and do. And therefore, we have the Women's Network, we have Lynn's Kids, because my education got me to the point where I felt it's a big chance that I'm taking. But hey, I have to try it. I mean, if I don't try it, what is it going to be? And as far as the lack of support goes, I had a lack of support from my family when it came to other things that I did. When I started Lynn's Kids, why do you have to help other countries? Don't we have enough problems in our own country? That's what I used to get. When I started Lynn's Kids, I got, you need to have foreigners in our home, because I used to invite people from different countries. I had, when I was living back at my mother's house with Ira, we had many people come. And she actually, Muhammad Talha came from, he's not with us anymore, but he came from Pakistan. He had set up a soup kitchen. I taught him how to do it. We had the girls come from Oman. And my point is, they didn't understand why I was doing this. And when people would look for me at a family gathering and I wasn't there, my mother would say, well, Mother Teresa is on the bridge helping other people. You can laugh at it because that's how they looked at it. So that wasn't exactly what I call family support. But what it did is it made me stronger. It made me want to do even more. And that's why Lynn's Kids is the way it is now. And that's why Saving Souls Women's Network is here. Not because of Lynn, but because of other women who are educated enough to want to make a change, to want to get out there and let another woman hear our story, to want to share what we can share. And I don't think that there's a woman sitting here who can't agree with me on the fact that empowering each other is the most important thing that we can possibly do. Okay, Shirley, I know you're dying to talk.
Oh,
Hit
no,
it.
I'm not. I'm listening.
How do you feel that education empowered you, Shirley?
Well, I want to backtrack a little bit.
Go ahead.
Leah hit saw something. I've told everyone, what it's like growing up with my father, but I was never the focus of his rage and anger until I turned 13, 14. It was all my mom. And when I started becoming a woman, he started taking that out on me. He could not handle it. We moved from, after we retired, we moved from Kansas City, Missouri to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where my father opened up his own business in office equipment. And when he bought our house, my mom didn't even see it. When we moved, the three of us moved down and into this house that he bought, and when we went to his office to meet, to see where he was working in downtown Tulsa, and his secretary, I had forgotten all about this until
Good, that's what this is about. Bring it out.
Yeah, I walked in, I don't think my brother was with me. I walked in with my mom, and the secretary went, "Oh my God, I thought you were a little girl. I thought you were maybe 10. And I'm like, "Why?" And she said, "Because your dad talks about you like you're a little girl."
Hmm.
And that's kind of clicking now because administration started. And then that's, about a couple of years later is when he started moving his rage away from my mother and attacking me. He couldn't deal with me growing up and becoming a woman. And I couldn't figure that out. The very first time that I went to a real dress up event was in college, and I lived at home and went to the University of Tulsa for 3 years. And I came down the stairs in my very first black sheath. Remember, like Jackie Kennedy wore?
Right.
He beat the living daylights out of me.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
He just
sorry.
nuts. He couldn't believe it. Where's my little girl? Bam, bam, bam.
Oh, honey.
Where's my little girl? And when you're in the midst of all that, I'm not thinking about anything other than what have I done? What did I do?
I know.
It was time. Over time, I realized that he lived in this world, and my mother was did what she did, and when he got drunk, he beat her, which was almost every other day.
Oh,
Suddenly, his little girl is
little girl.
13 and 14, and he couldn't deal with it. And that's why I look back. He didn't bother me. He hit me. He screamed at me. He screamed at everybody. But he only hit our mom and beat my mom until I started becoming a woman.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I knew it. It was pretty obvious after a while. That the first time that I wore my black dress, he called me a whore.
Oh God.
You get that dress off and you look like a whore. And I was probably 17 or 18 and I was we were all ready for the black dress to go to parties. And this and that.
Right. I mean, I remember back then.
He just flipped out.
This is bringing back Leah. This is bringing back all kinds of memories to everybody.
One other time, which is the last time I saw him, and I told you about how he tried to kill me with the gun. Well, and I drove all the way back to Dallas, Texas, and then turned around and drove back, talked to this minister. He said he was hopeless. And then I went to his house, and these were the words he said when he saw me. He was sitting on his bed. Of course, he had sobered up. He had been in a blackout. He didn't know what had happened. But when I walked in the room, he goes, "Oh, my little girl, there you are. Oh, my baby girl." And I'm like, oh my God. In many ways, at around 18, I started at 17, 18. realized too that he was not going to see me as a grown woman.
No, he can't.
He just
He
see me
wasn't capable. That's
as
it.
little girl. As long as I was his little girl, I was safe. But
That's it.
once I
Yeah.
could hide that I was no longer a little girl, that's when he started raging on me. And of course, that went on until he died.
Okay, that was quite a story to share. We're going to move on now to Miss Sukaina. How do you feel your education has empowered you?
I think it made me say one word that we really need in this world. No, you know,
Wonderful.
it
love
helped me a lot. I mean, I came from like a conservative family that, you know, that just has one idea in mind. That's okay. When she gets 18, she will, you know, drop out of school, marry, have kids, and
Yeah.
enjoy life as it's supposed to be according to traditions. But thank God I have like a mother who knew the value of education, who knew and suffered, you know, because she dropped out, not willingly, of course, and she married my dad. She wanted to continue her studies, but because, you know, of traditions and how, you know, small things happen in villages, she couldn't. And she wanted her daughter, like when I still remember that when like she gave birth to me, she said, like, I don't want you to suffer the same thing that happened to me. And that's like she fought hard for me to get the education that I need. Um, and I am very thankful for my father because he understood that when I said no, I meant it, and I'm not gonna change my mind about, you know, marriage or about um, marriage at early age, or about continuing my studies at university, because in conservative places, still they look at university as a place, like inappropriate place for girls to be in, you know. It's not a general view, but it's there, you know.
Yeah.
So when I told my family that I'm going to university to continue my studies, I still remember that my grandma and, you know, my aunts, they were like, university, what would you do that? Like, seriously?
Not even.
I would be like, yes, that's something we need for, you know, in this era. It was hard for me to convince them. It was hard for me to convince like the whole lot of my family, members of my family, that, education for girls matter. But, you know, when things happened, when a lot of divorces happened in the family, and the girls could not say anything because they were not educated enough to
Right.
back up their cases, or they were not educated enough to say no when they had to, they looked at me as somebody who had the freedom, who can say no without shame, who can defend their opinion whether they like it or not. So I think it's all matters, you know. So basically I always say no proudly, and I know that's because I'm educated, that I've had the chance to go to college, that I've had the chance to not drop out. I can state my opinion, I can choose my life, I can choose my destiny. And
Exactly. Making
it's so
choices.
refreshing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's so refreshing
Love
to
the
see
18.
that, you know, like it's like we broke the chain. You know, my mom is always happy telling me that we broke the chain. You know,
And
we
that's
are
the
no
important, right.
longer the victims of ourselves, because if only I had the chance, I would say no. I would have run away from, from my house and continued my studies. I would have been a teacher. I would have been like a member of parliament. I would have been, she had that what if, still killing her inside.
Great.
And
Yeah.
she did not want that with me.
That says it all. That's perfect.
Exactly.
That's
So,
beautiful.
when I'm like living my dream, she always tells me that I'm living your dream too, because you're my dream, you
Oh,
know?
I love
And
that.
this is what keeps me going. This
Oh,
is what keeps me going.
yeah,
That,
I know. I
she
know.
sees me as an idol for little girls, for future, generation in the family, to influence them better, to help them,
Wonderful.
prove to the family that we're not just girls. Because in my family, you're you're 18, whatever you do, like you're a woman, you're gonna get married and that's it, you know.
They have to, especially in foreign countries. Here, it's not like that. Here,
Oh,
we have
Lynn.
that.
It was like that for me. My
Right,
mother said, until I get a husband, I don't have a head.
Right here, women go to school, they do whatever they want to do, more or less. We might not be where we want to be as far as equal
Well-
pay stuff goes, but no woman is put into a time slot where when she's 18, she has to get married and have children. It does not work that way at all anymore.
It does, so, Lynn, actually, for some
We
people.
still
Well,
have
in
girls
foreign
like that.
countries,
We
but
still
here
have
not.
girls
Really not.
suffering.
It
We
does.
still have girls suffering from this, that they, you know, they get 18 and that's it.
Morocco, yes, and
That's
I've
it
been
with
there
them.
6 times. I know. I see
But,
what
you
it's
know,
like.
but
Like
Lynn,
what we're trying to
in the
do.
South, coming from the South, I have to say, though, that it's
Well, yeah,
still
that's also
can
very
happen
backwards.
there.
They're a
It
little bit
depends
backwards.
which class of people, which class you come from, you know, your income level, whatever. That depends a lot. But generally speaking, there is an aspect of that that still occurs where if a person doesn't have a marriage and a baby in North Carolina mountains, by the time they're sort of 16, they think, well, you know, hey, get going, get onto it. This is what you're supposed to do.
Interesting. I guess I'm just used to the United States, and my part of the United States, and that's it.
New
And
York
we're
City, it's probably
liberated.
like that, but there are places in the United States where it's
I know,
still
but thank God I
very
don't know
much-
about them because I would get into trouble in them. I can tell you.
and churches that are like that, hon.
And I would be
Churches,
holding flags and
you
doing
don't know the kinds of
Well,
great.
just
As
look at us living, you know, within these concepts, within these sick, you know, ideas and trying to fight them back. It's so sickening, but at the same time, this makes you feel that you're an active member of society. You want it to change, and you're trying hard to, you know, just to break the change. You know,
right,
the
exactly.
the
And
change
that's
of-
what most of us have done by our stories, you could tell. Now I want to go to the newcomer, Lorena, and tell us how you feel that education has empowered you.
Well, I think you ask great questions. I'm not sure what will come out, but I will listen. I wanted to comment on a few things.
Good, go right ahead. That's great.
Like my mother never told me about menstruation. So the first time blood happened, I was totally horrified and shocked. Why was blood coming out of me? And so that was weird. My father was a doctor too, like yours, and he was English, whereas my mother grew up in the old city of Jerusalem, and she was an
wonderful.
They met during the Second World War in Israel, in Palestine, and so her attitudes and his attitudes were very different, and he definitely encouraged education. And because he was a doctor and would talk about working with patients, I wanted to be a doctor eventually. When I was little, I wanted to be a ballet dancer, but that didn't. I passed through that phase in my teens and decided I wanted to be a doctor. And he would say things like, "But you should be a geneticist. And then if you're a scientist rather than a doctor, you can have a 9-to-5 job and you can go home and you can also have a family." And there was a lot of logic in that. I mean, we're talking about the 50s and 60s. I was born in 1950 and DNA was discovered and all that. And we'd watch biochemistry programs and it was very exciting. But I never became a geneticist. So but I did study biochemistry and I did study physiology and I did get into medical school, but I never finished. And I left and I stopped birth control pills and had babies. I haven't stopped studying though, and I'm keeping on learning about healing. And even though I'm not a Western doctor, I can offer healing to people. And I keep studying. So I'm always learning more things. So I suppose part of the empowerment is that education is a continuous thing in my life. I'm like buying great courses, and I do other things where I'm just needing to keep moving. At the moment, it's botany and wanting to understand about herbs and wanting to become a herbalist and really know something that I can offer other people. But being part of some kind of phone service to help other people would be very wonderful. So, in terms of my father and his approach, he used to talk about women as irrational because my mother was very emotional. So I would try and suppress that emotional side of myself. And I think being able to embrace the emotional side as well as the intellectual side is important, because we're whole beings and we have all these different.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I idolized my father, but he was not a perfect person by any means. So,
Nobody is.
yeah.
That's very interesting, Lasita, very interesting. And you know, I mean, knowing you the years, I have seen what a student of life you are. I mean, you
Certainly
do
is.
study. You are a healer. You study so many different things, and I'm kind of like you, except in maybe different subjects to a certain extent. But I also love to continue to take courses and study and learn, and that's very important to me too. But I can see the healer of you so very clearly, and I find that very, very rather wonderful, really.
I see it too.
Oh, well, thank
She's
you.
amazing. The more
Yes.
you know her, the more you'll see.
Yeah.
Do you have
And
anything else you
We
wanted
need
to say,
healers.
Lorena?
We do.
well,
We do.
just like if anyone is in trouble, and like with Shirley, and finding out and trying to work out why the itching happened and things like that. And I also send Reiki to people. So
Oh,
I'll ask. And I
Very helpful when I first had my cancer.
where do you live?
in New Mexico.
Oh, you're closer to me than anybody else. I live in California. I'm in Southern California.
Aha, lovely.
And in normal times, I don't know when normal's ever going to come back or what normal is or what.
It'll come back.
But I work a lot in Arizona
Aha.
and then all of Southern California.
And what is your
I
field?
love New Mexico.
Aha.
Oh, good. So I can actually give you her information. You could talk to each other.
Okay, that would be great.
Okay, let's go to Najette. Najette, how do you feel that your education has empowered you?
Well, for me, I have been raised in a family in which education is something you can say sacred. We were both boys and girls. We were encouraged for education and studying. My mother always says that education is power. If I spend the whole of my life thanking my family, I'm so much grateful to them, I would not get their rights. Well, for my English, how did I love my English? I do not forget my elder brother. Now he is a doctor of law at university. When I was a pupil, I used to see him putting his papers and dictionaries, and this is my love for English came from. I'm so much grateful to my family. Thank you, Leah, for this.
Najette is from Algeria, and she's a published author now.
Yes, I appreciate you so much, Najat. You know I do. I really do.
Really came such
I
a
love
long
you,
way.
Leah.
Such a long way. She the thing I love the most about Saving Souls Women's Network, Lorena, is that we don't wait. We just push in when we have something to say. We're like a family. We're not just separate women saying, oh, we're so wonderful, we're empowering each other. No, we're not. We all have, she's laughing because it's the truth. We all say what we want to say, when we want to say it, and however it comes out. And we are a family, and we're there to help each other. I know when I went through my year from hell, my year of cancer, Lorena her words really helped me a lot. She's a healer in so many ways. Shirley, her humor got me through a lot. And of course, Leah was always there. And I think that those are the what a women's network should be all about. Not hi, we're intelligent, we graduated college, we have our master's degree, maybe we're going for a PhD. This is what we are. No, it's all about helping each other, helping to empower other women who are not used to this. Now we have Sukaina, who I mentored when she was much younger.
I was only 15. Now I'm
Right.
27.
Right, so see how
Wow.
long we're together? And Sukaina is from
From 2009.
yeah, Sukaina is from, make me feel old, Sukaina, it's okay. Sukaina is, yeah.
We're still
Morocco.
young.
And then in writing, I mentored Najette, which is just recent. That's only like a year or two ago. And Najette is from Algeria. So you see, in this network, we not only empower, it's not about only empowering each other, we are a family. When somebody is hurting, so much goes
I
on.
can vouch for that.
Yes, I
You
know.
really have been, you've been there in dark times.
Yeah, it's we've been there in dark times, exactly. So let me tell you a little bit about a dark time since he finally walked out of the house. It's impossible to get rid of this man. He stands and he hovers. Oh, here he comes again. Okay.
Hurry.
So we discovered with Taufik's biopsy that was taken last week is there was a mistake on the biopsy. They didn't get the area that they had to get, and they saw that there was something else that they wanted to look into. So now we had to reschedule the COVID test for Thursday, cancel the doctor's appointment that I had on Thursday. This is the second COVID test. And we have the, next week we have the biopsy again, the following Tuesday. And then the doctor who I was supposed to have this Thursday, I had to cancel the following Thursday. So the support system here, I look forward to my Mondays because my Mondays take me out of this horror that I call life. My Mondays help me feel surreal. I feel like I'm in a place where people will understand. So if I want to scream at the top of my lungs and say, why is this happening? It's like I watched him because he is from a different country. And you know, sometimes he doesn't understand the directions that you know, Shirley. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he doesn't understand directions. Within 10
He's
minutes.
like a little puppy dog, Lynn.
I know. So I rescheduled all the appointments within 10 minutes. Everything was rescheduled, but my head was like, oh my God, why is this happening? What am I being tested for?
It wasn't easy, all these appointments or things that
do it.
The thing that made me nervous no more is that every time we start the procedure, we have to wait.
Yeah, wait, the waiting game.
The waiting for an appointment, for a test, which make me quite nervous. But believe me, I don't care if I have cancer.
Oh, here we go.
I don't care. You know why? Because I had an experience with my baby here, who was 1 year, treatment of 1 year. And we went both through cancer. She didn't have cancer herself, but I have it too.
That's what happens.
Anyway, now we are ready. Step 1 was good. Now the step 2. And how would I be upset if I have all these ladies, this family, these, you know what? Our Zoom meeting are family mother.
It's California, Shirley.
Yeah, and at the same time, we help others and we help ourselves.
And we feel better because we can't help others. And that's, you know, when God, I look at people and somebody put something on Facebook today, and I haven't been on Facebook as much as I normally am, but somebody put something on Facebook about different feelings and different moods, and somebody else put something else on. And then one of the gentlemen, and I don't remember what his name was, put in DC something about the best way to get over yourself is by helping others. Yes. And I so agreed with that because that's my whole mantra. That's why my family never really understood me, because if you help others, no matter what happens to you, you feel better inside.
The best way to cherish yourself up is to cherish somebody else up. That's it. Okay. There is no...
When you're 15, 16,
you're
being beaten and kicked and, you know, I had no concept of going to anyone.
Of course not. That's why we're here.
Help me.
People like you and
no, I just thought I got to get through this and
eventually you did help. You helped a lot of people.
And then I moved as far away from him as I could, and that was to the edges of the coast of California.
No,
You're a bit like
Not
me.
only
I
you.
I
Not
moved to
only you
Wales.
over here.
Leah,
Yeah,
Not only you there, Shirley, or in US. It's a great country, but it has a lot of trial. Anyway, but everywhere in the world, it's a mess. It's a, people are lost, developing and developed country both. So that's why everyone, and especially with Corona, everyone is having trouble. Not, we don't say some trouble,
Yeah.
real trouble
Yeah.
with health, with the work, with thanks God we are alive. We wake up the morning and we have a roof over our head. We have food in our place. Some people don't. They don't have even
I say
food.
that every single
So
day.
we should be grateful and coexist with this Corona pandemic.
have any of you,
And let's
I'm
go.
sorry.
Move
I'm sorry.
forward. Let's move forward. That's it.
It's gonna be over sooner or
That's it.
later.
Yeah, sure.
And
Sure.
what happened last week at the Capitol,
Ugh,
I would be remiss if I didn't
Oh
mention
my
that.
God.
Okay. What happened last week at the Capitol, I think taught us that we can't trust anything, even if we are supposedly the great United States of
we're
America.
not.
We're not that great.
No.
And it showed us that what we think is our freedom. See, when you live in other countries, I remember Sakina many years ago, girls from
Morocco.
I lost track of her. At the University of Casablanca. I don't know.
Rabat.
No, I think it was the University of Casablanca.
Okay.
They asked me to help them stage a protest because I had taught classes to all of them, and it was the first time they ever protested, and they were afraid of what was going to happen to them. But they were successful. My point is, even when you live in a land of freedom, if something like this could happen in a world that is supposedly the United States and a nation which is supposedly free, you have to say to yourself, we're not that free.
Yeah.
How are we different than a third world country? So we are living with bad things looming over our heads. That's why it's so important to have a network like this where we can talk, where we can.
And can I say this too? The
Yes,
president
Dawn.
of this country for the moment is a misogynist.
Surely we know. And when
Yeah,
they read
and we
this
have-
part of the book, we have a book called Dethroning the President. It's a story about Donald Trump, which will be out once everybody gives me that copy. I read Shirley's copy, and I didn't know whether to laugh or to cry because it really a part of it. She called him every name under the book. I love reading it.
And you know what? Expect me to say. I will write
I
on
can't
this
wait.
book.
Baruch
I
Hashem.
will be Pashi. I'm sorry.
Baruch Hashem.
With this horrible bastard. He's just a doll, like Shirley always.
Let's not get on to
You know,
that.
she shows. You have seen the doll, this Shirley?
It's a Trump doll.
You have still Trump doll?
Yeah, we did.
Oh no, you know what? I
What?
destroyed it with a hammer. I waited. That came to me for my birthday in November of 2016.
Yeah.
And it came a little bit later. He had been elected.
Yeah.
And my friend that sent it to me said, "Oh my God, Shirley, we didn't think he would get elected. We thought it was going to be Hillary. We were just so sure it was
That was the end of that.
Hillary."
Look what happened.
And so my friend from Cambria sent that to me, and she said, "Oh God, Shirley, I'm so sorry. What are you going to do with it?" And I said, "I'm going to leave it up. I'm going to put it in. I don't want it in the bit where I have to look at it every day. In our what I call our middle room." And I just left it there. And just last week, I took a hammer. And
Oh my God.
it was a piñata.
I can see you did that, Shirley.
Remember, and it said,
I should have taken a video of that. I would have loved to see that.
"Oh my
He's
God,
gone.
I did. I just destroyed it." And I kept one little piece, and on the back I wrote, "This is the end." Just when the election happened, I wrote on the back, "January 2021. This SOB is gone."
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay. There she goes, banging the doll again. Okay, everyone, I want to thank you all for being here. This was some riveting meeting.
Yeah.
I want us also to leave with one thought, with more than one thought, but the one thought that's the most important to me, the thing now that the, I don't know, Lorraine, I know you're a writer and an artist and a little bit of everything. If you would like to contribute to our the spiritual woman, I can't think of anybody I know that's more spiritual than you are. If you would like to contribute a page to the spiritual woman, we're going to print on Friday, so you have a couple of days. I know it's not a
Thank
lot
you.
of notice. We would love to hear from you. Anybody else like Sukena who hasn't given me anything? It would be nice to hear from you.
I wanted to hear from Allison. Did you speak up about how education has empowered you?
Yeah.
Allison has a problem with her hearing. That's why I didn't call on her.
Yeah. Do I hit the, can you hear me?
Can you
Yeah,
hit
I
chat?
think-
Yeah, good.
Write it.
The what?
See, she can't. How education has empowered you.
I got that, but can you hear me?
I hear
Yes.
you perfectly.
Yes.
Perfectly.
We hear
Yeah,
you.
yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to get out of my house and go to school. You know, the one thing my mother encouraged me in was to go to college because she wanted to go to college, but then her father said no. And my parents are older. You know, she was 40 when I was born, and my father was in World War I, so it's a little different.
Wow.
But yeah, I love school. You know, I went to UC Berkeley in the
Oh,
Wow, how cool.
what years did you go?
66 to 70.
Oh boy, that was a great time to be at
Oh,
Berkeley.
I know.
Oh my
Can't
God.
imagine.
And yeah, I was remembering this the other day. You know, I was in the dormitory, and in that period of my life, I was free enough to talk to the couple that was in charge of the dorm, because if you wanted to go protest, you had to be assembled at 5:30 in the morning, and they wouldn't let you out of the dorm till 7. And I convinced them. And then the next thing I remember is, you know, write on your palm the number to call if you get arrested. You know, well, my parents were Republicans, and I said, well, I hope they don't find out. But mostly what I was thinking is, I can't get arrested. I'll never get a job. I can't. I'll never work. You know, and I was talking to Brian about it, and it's true. Like, if you're in a criminal court, at least it used to be, you could not impeach a witness with arrest, just arrest. But yeah, they can find out if you've been arrested and you can't get a job. And Brian said, well, you know, it was a fascist country even then. You know, if you want to like broaden your thinking. But anyway, then after that, I found that it wasn't practical, but I didn't have any guidance, and I loved art history. Not only I was good at recognizing things, but intuitively you learn about history and the culture of the art. You have to, you know, if you really love it, you have to know everything. So then I went to UCLA and got a master's. And
Bruins.
oh,
Bruins.
So what I realized years later was, well, I wanted the master's and I wanted to be a professor, but I realized years later, unconsciously, I knew it was like the safe ticket out away from my family.
Mhm.
And well, I didn't find a job in art history, so I went to work for insurance companies for a few years. And then I went to law school.
Very typical.
And it gave me, you know, it gave me a profession for a while. you know, all around 20 years, and I could use my mind. And
What the name is
Yeah.
already.
it was hard because, you know, I didn't really quite fit in. I don't really fit in places. I guess today you would call us outliers in a way. But it's great to hear people talk about how they love education.
Yeah.
So
And,
important.
you know, I can tell you're educated because we ended up moving out in the country, and it's beautiful for hiking and everything, but they hate education
Mhm.
and educated people. And you know, there's not a lot of people that there haven't been a lot of people to talk with in the, you know, these retirement years, but we're still both avid readers and always looking
Yeah,
for
great.
things.
My husband's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show people what just came out during the time you were talking. I had a giant splinter for almost 2 weeks in my palm.
Oh my
God.
gosh.
And it just
Wow.
I didn't I thought I'd got out anything that
Oh my
needed
God.
to get out, but this is
Okay.
like the size of a nail.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh my.
Hmm.
what did you
Shirley,
get?
speak to her about your problems. That's
What
a
did
good
you get
idea.
this nail, Sister Lorena? From where? You
It is-
injured it?
It's a wooden splinter,
It can
actually.
come from
Okay.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Shirley.
It's out.
Yeah, thank you. Yay!
Okay, everyone.
Can you tell Alison for me, please? Someone write to her to say, thank you, and I hope that she can come and talk some more because
Yes, and I'm
Yeah.
remiss because I didn't.
Oh
I
my
thought that because of a hearing problem, she wouldn't be able. It might be difficult for her to speak. Now that I heard you speak, you're
She's
gonna have to speak
perfect.
all the time. You spoke perfectly.
Good job, Alison. We love you.
Could I say a couple more things?
can you write to her to tell her thank you, that I hope she comes again so I can
Oh
hear
yeah,
more.
she'll
Sure.
be here. She'll be here. Okay, everyone. Thanks so much for today. I don't know who's gonna tell the story next week, but we'll find out as we get closer. Okay, remember your stories are due. Get together, Sukana.
Okay, Leah.
Right now, we want that orange freak thrown out.
What?
And
What,
sit-
Shirley?
Don't ask her for excuses.
Oh, come on.
Nuts. Okay,
We're
we
on
love
page
you.
And
seven.
all of his cronies too.
What, Leah?
Leah,
What?
All of his, and all of his cronies too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all of them, every single one of them. I want to toss out a little movie that I didn't
Okay,
think I would
let her talk.
like,
Yes.
but I want to tell you, there's a pretty darn terrific film called Mrs. America,
Okay.
Oh, I
and
never heard
it
of
is about Phyllis Schlafly. Do you remember her? She's the one that
Yeah.
started the we need to be women. We need to stay
Oh,
home.
I remember now. That's a long
Yeah.
time ago.
Yeah, and she was up against, it was when Gloria Steinem and Betty Friedan were.
Right, exactly from that time.
It is a fantastic little film.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you can see it, you know, I was in the middle of it, but I was also the young end of it at that time. And
Okay.
it was just, I knew that I couldn't stand Phyllis Schlafly, but boy, if you
Yeah.
watch
you.
this movie,
We will, yeah, we leave
it's
all.
really, really good.
Sorry for interrupting you, dear Shirley.
Thank you.
have to
Bye
go.
bye,
We'll
love.
have to
Love you.
go. We'll speak to you
Thank you,
soon. Love
Alison
you.
and Lorena, for being here.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Continue
Najat.
writing. Bye.
Lynn, can you connect me
Bye.
to Linda?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yes.
send you the email later.